and I insist on meeting them at the farm so that I can see where you are, I can see the distance that it takes, I can tell the number of hours I'll take on the road if I'm to deliver your goods, I can tell if there are any terrains that I need to factor in the costing, because I didn't want to give you a cost, then tomorrow I can't run my vehicles. So that, once I establish that, the moment I'm meeting with you, I'll always explain the few things that my observations. These are my observations. You have this number of kilometers from your destination of where your crop should go. You have, it takes us this time. You will require us to come here at whatever time. If I have to coordinate your shipment with any other shipment or to link them together, then of course I need to factor that so that I can give you a proper cost. So that said, of course, you're very interested because already you can confirm that I've established a number of things that totally agree with how your operations are going. Then of course I will give you a quotation based on all those observations. The other factor over and above my observations will be the market.
Michael Duya is the operation manager. He has been at Cynkey for 6 months and he is in charge of the operations, providing the link between the client and the company.
Okay, basically I handle the operations. That's I get direct from now after the client has been taken in by the company. When we have a prospective client, I first direct him to either the logistic director or now our accounts. So they give them the breakdown of what is exactly supposed to go on in the company. Let's say now the pricing of how we're supposed to carry the goods now from the farms to the airport, or the specific spot where we're supposed to take the staff to the airport. So I direct them to the relevant person who is supposed to give them the breakdown of the pricing. So after that, I'm giving the client, now I start operating with them. Basically, I get projections from the clients now after we've taken them. The projection is the one that we now work with, what you're going to carry for the next day. It's given 24 hours prior to the carrying.
So far, the market has responded well, and Cynkey Kenya Limited is showing progress every year. This is affirmed by lack of complaints from its clients and the amount of turnover recorded for the past 5 years, having invested a capital of 1 million only. Now the company is talking of 40 million turnover.
I think it's good to tell you where we started from. I think we started from a turnover of about, the first time I did business, I think I did about 1 million shillings in 1 year, which was that was way before as an employee, because I was still having my wife try to run it. Not very comfortably, but that was where we've come from. When I registered Cynkey Limited, we started with 12 million. And we've grown, to levels of over and above 40 million in a year.
As an entrepreneur, Ngatia has an advice for youths since they form the greater percentage of unemployed population in the country.
I had little money. In fact, I think I remember I had 100,000 shillings, 100,000 that I had that I could use to do what business I'm doing now. With that, I managed to hire in advance. I told them I will pay you for 1 week in advance. Okay, but give me the service and let's start. The catch here was, you have the service now. So I got hold of the trucks that I required to give the service, so I could sell the service to my clients. The good thing is, a few clients understood that they could give me some money in advance or pay me promptly so that I could sustain the service. There's another thing that the youth don't understand, that the bank will offer assistance, but few of them will give you money simply because they like you're good looking or you're talking very nice. The banks will still look for the statement or the weight behind you, which is, what business are you doing?
By bringing in other cargo handlings and increase its truck number from 7 to 14 trucks.
Now, initially when we started with flowers. But as I said, we've really grown to doing general cargo. We've grown to a point of moving cargo within the larger East Africa region. We've not done Juba though, but Kampala, Congo, we've done Arua, we've done Rwanda, we've done Arusha and Dar es Salaam. And we can always expand on that because it's still a very small percentage that we try to cover within that region. And there is a big problem with transportation. We have the litigations or the rules that are being brought up by all governments. Kenya is doing its own, Uganda is doing its own, and gladly that we are trying to unify the East African community so that we can make this a bit easier.
All right, and welcome back to Zoom in Africa. Meet This Year segment is what you're talking about. And guess what? It's all about offering solutions in the transport industry. And I know I'm going to be asking something about agriculture because I believe that's another sector where transportation is all paramount, right?
A boom at this moment.
And as we told you earlier, 21144 is our SMS line. We would like to interact with you. We want to know what actually are your thoughts. And if you have any question for Mr. Victor Ngatia, he's more than able and capable to answer all of them. I believe we'll be doing a couple of SMSs.
Yes, and even before we go to the SMSs, we'd love to hear from Mr. Ngatia himself, what he has to say about, the strategic plan of growing the company, because I'm looking at your stuff right now and wondering if I want to work in your company, what are the criteria that you pick? Because some people take in people to train them, others want trained people already on board.
I'm a strong believer in the youth, and not that I wouldn't employ anybody who's old. I would, depending on the circumstances. But I know the youth require employment, and we don't have many industries or many companies that are nurturing these particular individuals from their level to where they will become employable, or to a level that they'll be able to practice what they think they know best. Our mode of employment is we need to connect. I've actually been beaten before where we went for particular individuals and papers all the way, and of course few are those that will still let you down even if they have all the papers. So I try my best to really establish who you are. It's not easy because at times it takes that extra call that not any other employer would make. I believe in referrals. I mean, if you refer me to somebody, most of the time you'll not refer me to somebody who will be, But that said, I also want to believe that I look for connection. I mean, when I'm seated with you trying to interview you, I'm not just looking for that paper that you'll produce in the next minute. I mean, I'm also looking at, can you explain some issues? Is there any issues that we would have later that will hinder our operation? And if I, maybe 1 out of 10, or maybe if I can use the other side, 9 out of 10, chances are I will actually get the right person when I'm doing that and I'm doing the interview.
And I believe passion is paramount.
Yes.
When you
passion. Because at the end of the day, if someone can establish the passion, if somebody can establish the passion that you have, then you have a job,
Okay. We now go to the SMSs. Congratulations to my long lost buddy. Opportunities seldom come and must be exploited.
Yes.
Actually, I was in the middle of that SMS, but I will do another one. Hi, I would like to know if they can transport potatoes from Nairobi to Mombasa. How do they charge? That is Anne in Nairobi.
Yes, and I'll do the other one for her. Congratulations to my long lost buddy. Opportunities seldom come and must be exploited. Kudos. Have a lot to learn from your story. That is
Brezhnev Otieno.
What a name.
Yes, I'm telling you.
Yes.
And for those who are actually trying to send their CVs here, I'll start chatting you guys, because one is saying, please, what qualifications you need to work as an assistant accountant at your place.
Yes, and
I'll start chatting you guys.
maybe to begin with, the very first one, potatoes. And we are looking at from Nairobi to Mombasa. Maybe at what rate would you do that?